Monday morning. It's Monday morning, and I feel fucking brilliant, to be honest. You know, I've had a good night's sleep, I've had a nice weekend. I'm clean. I'm sober. Clean or sober, whichever you want to say it is. And it's Monday, do you know what I mean? I'm ready to tackle the week. I'm not wrapped up in my own head feeling sorry for myself, thinking, fuck's sake, I did it again, or, you know, I fucking owe all my wages out from this week. And basically, because I remember them Monday mornings when I used to go to work knowing that that week I'd already spent the wages for the week coming last week. You know that I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. You know, that's just the way things was when I was growing up. You know, you spent all your wages and then you got loads more on sick until the week after. And I just like waking up this morning, I thought, wow, you know, that internal freedom, you know, not feeling anything, not like beating myself up, like hating my job, can't be arsed talking to anybody, not feeling like you know, it's like you just want to fucking forget about everyone and just sort of get through today, go home, fucking sit on couch like a fucking sorry sack of shit, eat loads of food, and sort of like convince yourself that you're doing all right. That's sort of what it was for me. And you know, when I made this platform and I come on here and made the Speak and Recover page, you know, my reasons for making this page sort of change as I change. And you know, I do it to get out of myself and carry the message, because I never even knew that this stuff was available. You know, I never knew that that way of life was available. And even when I did know it was available, I didn't always fucking want it. And then I sort of like tried it. And when I tried it, you know, the results were fucking, you know, I felt something changed inside me. And I thought, you know, I don't have to do that anymore. You know, because when I first come around to recovery, I never used every day. Do you know what I mean? I only ever used like twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. It was only when life got really shit, or, you know, my relationship broke down, or a job went fucked at work, I'd really fucking try and use into oblivion. Do you know what I mean? And it just got progressive. It was getting to the point where, you know, luckily for me, I had that internal rock bottom before my whole life fell to fucking bits. You know, so, and me still taking care of my responsibilities while trying to get clean was fucking massive for me. You know, it kept pushing me back. I couldn't hold the burden of holding down a job and all the other stuff that come with it. You know, that internal stuff, like showing myself some self-love and care, you know, looking after Neil, you know, making sure that I put myself first by just not picking up and sort of allowing the help that was available to me to help me. You know, I remember when I walked into how my perceptions changed, you know, and it was only, don't knock it until you fucking tried it. You know, everyone thinks that just stopping taking drugs is just stopping taking drugs. It's got fucking, that's just the beginning, do you know what I mean? That's the first hurdle. You know, the real fucking graft comes after that. You know, when you make that decision to continue to try and stay clean, that's the fucking biggest thing for me. And when I first come and people started telling me about meetings, see, I only knew about like drug workers and stuff like that, you know, and most of the people that I knew was just doomed to fucking use forever. You know, and it like, it's sort of like still is like that. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's just doomed to do that forever. You know, every weekend or every other weekend, just gonna use with no benefits at all. You know, like It's not like it's a fucking party. You know what I mean? It's not like it's like an amazing time. It's the same shit you did fucking for the last 15 years. You know what I mean? That's what it was for me anyway. I'm speaking about myself. And I remember when I got fucking kicked through the door of a recovery group, and you know, I was fucking like, I felt like I shouldn't fucking be here. Who the fuck these fucking, you know, I felt like I'm gonna walk through that door and I'm gonna sit in a fucking circle or holding hands, fucking chanting or whatever, and it was just gonna be full of people that was homeless. You know, that was my, you know, people that was homeless, their lives were fucked, and they stunk and all that shit. You know, that perception of that, like what I perceived to what an addict would be, and how wrong I was. You know, when I walked into that door and you know, thinking I had it all going on, couldn't stop fucking using, couldn't step over my daughter, and you know, the feelings of family and my job and myself, you know, my health, my mental health, just step right over that and just use again. You know, I couldn't doing that. And when I walked into that recovery group, you know, fucking brand new trainers, £500 jacket, you know, thinking I had it all going on, I was fucking shocked with the people that I met. Do you know what I mean? I was very, very shocked. You know, these people had their whole lives intact. They were fucking smiling. They were happy. And I thought people that didn't use drugs was just miserable bastards. You know, I thought they was either really old and fucking whatever, blah blah blah. And just all that, the way I looked at life was completely fucking delusional. You know, I was in just complete denial. You know, my addiction had drove me to think that's what was real, and it wasn't. You know, I remember I was sat in my first meeting, I was fucking shit scared to open my mouth. You know, even though I thought I was the big man, I couldn't speak about my feelings. You know, what's all that about? If I can't tell anyone how I'm feeling, how am I? How could I not pluck up the courage to tell another person I feel really down, I feel depressed, I don't know what to do with my life, and I can't stop taking drugs? If I couldn't do that, how could I convince myself? Oh, why did I think at the same time that I had it all going on? You know, fucking magic when I look back at it. And I remember sitting next to a guy, and I looked at him, he looked nothing like an addict, you know, and he's like, "Are you alright, mate?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm alright, how are you doing?" And then he started talking, and I remember him saying, like, I said, how long have you not took drugs for? And he said 14 years. And the first thing I said to him is, "What the fuck are you doing here?" It's only till today I realised why that guy was still there. You know, addiction goes far, far beyond drugs. You know, drugs is just the most apparent symptom of addiction. You know, that was just my poison of choice at the time, and it was slowly killing me. And this is quite evident in a lot of people's lives. Do you know what I mean? I see people now, and I look at them, and they look 10, 15 years older than what they should be. I hear stories about people, and you know, it's not my responsibility, but you know, blah blah blah. I come and I carry a message because that's what was carried to me. You know, when I went to this meeting and I realised that this guy who had not took drugs for 14 years was going to a meeting for narcotics misuse, and he was going to that meeting, maybe, just maybe, after 14 years went to that meeting just so I could sit next to him and realise that I could do the same thing and spend my life spend my quality time of life without the use of drugs and alcohol anymore. And that in itself is just a beautiful thing. You know, what I expected and what I got, you know, I was you know, if I would have got what I expected, I probably wouldn't have been clean today. You know, my perception of going to a meeting for drug abuse, I was expected to be greeted by a lot of very, very, very unwell people, when in theory I was the very, very unwell person, and the people that I went to that meeting was very, very well. You know, they had the power to say no. They had the power to say no to drugs. Just as simple as that. And that's all I wanted at the time. At the time when I first come to recovery, all I wanted was the fucking power to say no. I don't want to do that. I'm all right, thank you. Not tonight, mate. That's all I wanted in the beginning. And believe it or not, I've got fucking so much more. I've got that love back for myself. You know, I don't look at myself. I don't think of myself as this fucking useless piece of shit. You know, I don't have any self-doubt. You know, that self-acceptance, that internal stuff, which allows me to live free. You know, if I think really bad about myself and that self-talk, how can I convince myself that I'm free if I'm just constantly fucking beating myself up mentally? You know, a massive part of mental health issues, that's a massive part, is the way you speak to yourself. You know, the things that you tell yourself. I couldn't believe it, you know, and I still used, you know, I still went out after that day and I still used, but sort of like, it took a long time for my head, the insanity, to catch up to the message that I fucking felt with my heart. Do you know what I mean? That was evidence. It was evidence presented to me. And just that internal evidence is not always apparent in the beginning. But now looking back, I realised, you know, that's when I started my journey. I needed to be presented with some evidence, because I didn't believe fucking nobody. I didn't trust anybody. I couldn't pluck up the courage to do anything or take anybody else's advice. You know, I thought I had all the fucking answers. So that's what I go to meetings for today. You know, sometimes I go on having a fucking piss and I'm on, you know what I mean? But I go to carry my experience. I go to carry my experience, strength and hope at a meeting. You know, I go to a meeting, I talk about how I stay clean, I talk about what works for me, and I talk about my experience of getting clean. And that's it. Just so that when that fucking pumped up egotistical little knobhead walks through the door in a £500 jacket with a serious cocaine problem that's gonna fucking kill himself and leave his daughter without a dad, might just get the message and might just be able to turn his life around. I feel fucking blessed today. Monday morning, I am ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Do you know, anytime. I feel blessed in my fucking heart. Do you know what I mean? I feel it in here. Not in here. I don't have to think I've got it going on. In here, I've got it going on. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to convince anybody that I am. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to pretend to everybody else anymore that Neil's all right. I am all right. You know what I mean? And just knowing that other people know that I'm all right makes me feel more all right. You know, never used to be like that. Never used to be like that. So, you know, the drug using and taking and the social using and blah 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 and all that stuff that's going on, it's massive now. It's like it's rising. You know, everybody's doing it. It's so normal. It's got to a level of so normal that it's starting to get a bit scary, you know. And if I remember when I was a kid, if someone said that they took cocaine or whatever, it'd be like a massive shock to you. You know, nowadays it's cool. It's cool to do that. It's cool to have a bag of it in your pocket when you're out in boozer. You know what sort of things that to the next generation below us. You know, trying to look at the bigger picture today. You know, I remember when everyone used to smoke weed behind the back of the bike sheds at school and stuff, and we used to like we all used to go to the park and smoke weed, and like now, it's just everywhere. You know, it's just everywhere. It's so fucking normal. Using drugs has just completely changed over the time from when I was a kid to where I am now. And can you believe it? I used to be a drug dealer. Do you know what I mean? I used to sell drugs. I used to be the poison pusher. And I'm sort of glad that it caught up with me and bit me on the arse. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what it did, really. You know, like, and I sort of like, when I look back on it, everything happens for a reason. And I think, like, because I've done that, I've been in that state, I've done them things, it caught up with me, it pushed me into the depths of desperation, it brung me out on the other side, still alive and kicking and willing, with an opportunity of a new way of life. And I feel blessed to be in that position, to have lived that experience and then come on a social platform and share the message. You know what I mean? Trying to make that amends. You know, I do it for free. I carry messages like this for free. That's why I'm always in the car. You know, I use my spare time to carry a message, because I don't always have the time to go to a meeting and carry a message to a newcomer. You know, this is just my way of giving back. I love doing this stuff. I love being about recovery. You know, I remember when I was using, I never even knew what recovery was. You know, if there's something not sitting right with you, and maybe you identify with some of the things that I say, and maybe you want to try something new, all you have to do is just inbox me, and I can sort of like just show you what I do to stay clean and sober today. I can't believe how much my life's progressed since I come into recovery. You know, I've done in 2 years what would have took me, I've done in 2 years more than that I did in 15 years, especially when it comes to internal growth, my health and fitness, my business, my relationship with my daughter. Just massive change. I can't really say any more than that. You know, the help is available. Recovery is absolutely massive in Lancashire now, massive. You know, there's so many people in recovery, and you know, it's meant to be like a form of recovery which is anonymous. Do you know what I mean? It's meant to be anonymous because not a lot of people have careers to fucking hold down and stuff like that. But luckily for me, I'm my own fucking boss, and I don't give a fuck about telling everyone that I was fucked and I live clean today. Hope you all have a blessed Monday.